So, Global Railway Review are here at the Railway Infrastructure Asset Management Summit 2024 in London, and today we're speaking to Hannah Richta, Head of Algorithms for Operations at DB Infrago. So, Hannah, thank you for a fantastic talk earlier this morning. What practices are involved in data transparency?
Thank you. What practice? I would categorize the practices in 3 steps. The first is the pre-analysis. If you do a project, you start doing your research before you write code, before you publish some apps or something like this. So you have to check, do I have the data? You have to brainstorm what data do I need to check if the data are available. Are there systematic challenges? Are there something that should be prepared, cleaned previous to your project? Maybe, for example, in the infrastructure data, is the location of the signals, is it right modeled, or should it be removed or moved to the right position so that the position in the data matches the position in the real world. So if you have all this together, you have the pre-project phase, then you have the constant monitoring. So you need a good logging. You need to take into account as many KPI and operational data as possible from your system. So if you find data that don't match, or if you have a result that you did not expect it, write a log and make it transparent to your team. So keep an eye on this. And the third one is the continuous improvement. So analyze what you find from the continuous monitoring. Talk to the people that are responsible for the data. Try to understand how you can fix this. Maybe the data producers have to fix this. Maybe your team can fix it. Apply this to your software. And most important, inform the users. So the users know about the limitations and know about what they can, when they can trust your system or what they have to take into account by themselves.
Does the value of data depend on its uses and audience? And if so, does that value then fluctuate with time?
Good question. I'm a little bit careful talking about the value of data, because if you talk about the value of data or kinds of the data is the new gold, everybody thinks, it's mine, like Smaug in the Lord of the Rings sitting on their data and saying, it's mine and I won't give it to anyone. But you have to share it, and if you share and collaborate with the data, you create the value together. So I would say if you start collaborating, you have the first wins, the quick wins very easily, and then the appetite comes to do more. And so the value increases, I would say, from using the data, because you start with the simple solutions, the quick wins, that the low-hanging fruits. That's good, but then you start and you advance, and you get more and more value of it. That's the interesting part of working with data.
What are the challenges with the integration procedures of legacy IT systems?
The most important topic about legacy systems is they are grown historically. So they are maybe 10 years old, maybe 15 years old, maybe 20 years old. Some maybe even older. So it's not everything documented what's been done during this time. The people who worked on the system 10 years ago are not in the company maybe anymore. So they changed a data field but they didn't change the label. So you get the data field and you think, okay, by the label I would say it's like this and that, but you go out, talk to the people who use the software and say, no, we didn't need this data field, but we use this field, make an entry to tell our colleagues something else. Okay, so you have to take this into account, and you have to talk to the people who work with this, because you usually, unfortunately, you won't find this in any official documentation. And that's the challenge with legacy systems.
How can companies define the limitations of their data, and what does it mean for decision making in rail?
The limitations of data depend on the use case. So before you define the limitations, define your use case. And then you do the sanity check. Can I do with the data what I want to do? But you have to keep in mind look at the complete picture. So for example, the number of trains. If you get a schedule data, you can count the train numbers and have the number of trains. Then you get an excerpt of this data and you say, okay, well, I can count the number of trains. Okay, you have to back check if you get really all the data. You get some data and you won't notice on the first hand that there's something missing. So you always need to check, okay, is it complete? And does it help me to answer my questions? And before this, it's brainstorming, it's thinking, what do I need to answer my question? And then check, do I have it all? And is it complete?
In 2024, Global Railway Review is celebrating its 30th birthday, its Pearl anniversary. Do you have a pearl of wisdom for us today?
My pearl of wisdom is, we're talking a lot of data, but data is made by people. So take into account the people, take the people with you, make the people communicate together, give them people a common goal to work together on, and then you will succeed in using your data.
Thank you.